Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to our Cooking with Coach QueenKC for optimal health, longevity, weight balance, and health presentation. I'm your host, Vince Ferguson, president of Body Scope of New York and owner of 6 Weeks to Fitness, creator of the 6 Weeks to Fitness programs, and host of the 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that I definitely appreciate your being here. And we want to hopefully educate you, inform you what's going on, and hopefully you want to get more involved with a vegan lifestyle. Now, those of you who have followed my work through the years, you know that I believe in encouraging, inspiring, and motivating people towards living a healthy lifestyle. That's very important to me. And one of the ways in which I do that is I invite guests to come on my show to talk about their healthy lifestyle journey. And with this in mind, I invited a friend of mine, someone I have known for over 12 years, to come on the show. Her name is Dr. Karen Copeland. Now, Dr. Copeland is a trailblazing visionary who found her true calling beyond the confines of the optometry world. With a degree from the renowned UC Berkeley School of Optometry in 1993, she embarked on a journey that would redefine her path and inspire countless lives. Despite her early achievements in optometry, Dr. Copeland realized that her heart resonated in the realm of health and wellness. This passion ignited a flame within her, and she swiftly shifted her focus to holistic well-being. Her determination to uncover the secrets of a vibrant life led her down an uncharted path. In 2015, Dr. Copeland elevated her mission by becoming a certified health coach through the prestigious Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which I believe some of you might have heard of. But now, armed with knowledge, compassion, and a deep-rooted desire to make a difference, she undertook the challenge of guiding women toward transformation and towards a healthy living lifestyle. And here today to share her journey into the vegan lifestyle is Dr. Karen Copeland. Karen, how are you?
I am wonderful, Vince. I'm gonna have to apologize. There's two things I forgot to do. Silence my phone because I don't want it ringing.
Okay.
Trap my animal so I don't want him jumping in. So those two things that we didn't think of. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Look, these things happen, but it's okay. I'm just happy to have you here because I personally believe in what you're doing. And I've seen the transformation that changing your lifestyle, your lifestyle, what it's done for you. And today we need to do more of that ourselves. We need to think about what we're eating. We need to think about how we're living. And if we do that, we're going to be better off. And that's why today I wanted to have Dr. Copeland on this live stream, because she can show you why, she can tell you why she switched over to a vegan lifestyle. She can demonstrate a little bit, some simple ways to cook vegan. And it's not something that's foreign to us, okay? In this society, we are eating too much and we're eating too often. And the foods that we're eating are not the healthiest for our bodies. And that's what's causing the problems today. All right, so we need to change the way we eat. We don't need to eat as much. We don't need to eat all day. You know, I was always told that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. But then I found out by research, and when I had Dr. Ashley Lucas on my podcast, that breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. Okay, this rumor was started by someone by the name of Harry Kellogg from the Kellogg Food Company. Of course, it was important to him because he wanted to sell more cereal. So we need to realize now that we need to think about how we're eating. So I recommend to people is that when it comes to eating breakfast, any time of the day is fine because what you're doing, you're breaking a fast, right? So you're fasting from the night before to the next day. But we need to kind of extend that fast to allow the calories that we've taken in the previous day to digest. And someone who I talk so much about getting a flat stomach, how important it is. And I realized that if you would just not eat breakfast in the morning early, you would get a flatter stomach because you're allowing your body to digest food for a long period of time. We're eating too often and we're eating too much. Right? So if we think about that, it's going to make sense. See, our health is in our hands. The pharmaceutical companies, it's about money. The medical industry is about money. But we have got to think, what can we do for ourselves? And one of the first things we can do is to eat better. Eat real food. I tell people, the reason I say eat real food, because real food basically comes from the planet. And we come from the planet. And if you're eating living food, like fruits and vegetables, you're adding life to your well-being. We have living cells. We are living organisms. So why do we eat badly? Why do we eat food that's really not good for us? And but we kind of are programmed to eat badly because everyone else is doing it. So we don't want to follow the leader in that regard. We want to set our own paths. Because I find that when you start eating healthy, you're going to feel better and you're going to look really good as well. But I realize now that Dr. Copeland, Karen, you're back?
I'm back.
Okay, so I was going on a rant. Please take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Vince, for having me here today. We've known each other for years now. And so this has been a passion of mine, starting with getting my body together, and then being able to find ways to help as many people as I can come in contact with to do the same. So thanks for the introduction. You pretty much laid out everything that I've done in my life up until this point. So I'll just fill in a little of the gaps. Yes, I did. I've always wanted to be a doctor since I was 13. My main desire was to be a dentist. When it was time for me to go to dental school, it was during the AIDS epidemic and dentists were getting pricked with needles. And so I freaked out and chose another health field, which was optometry. Not knowing that optometry really was not as much about health and the body as dentistry, medicine, nursing, and other things. So it did not resonate with me at all. I completed it. I worked as an optometrist 1 year and I said, absolutely not. So I went back into my main goal and my main passion, which was health. And I became a health coach. Now, what drove me to wanting to be involved in health was me, my body, my family. I come from a family of very, let's say, poor genes, but it's not the genes that are poor. It was our lifestyle and the replication of our lifestyles as we passed it on through generations. So many of my family members suffered with cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, early death, Alzheimer's. And I knew I did not want that for me. So from a very young age, I searched and I studied and I tried and I went through all kinds of tribulations, trying to find my path toward health for my personal body. And my other problem was that as a young child and throughout my younger years, I was considered a little plump kid. So I was always teased by my family members as the little plump one, the fat one. So I had a little bit of a, personal issue with fear of being heavier than I felt I should be. Not understanding that being overweight is detrimental to your health. I just didn't want to be fat. Okay, so I was the yo-yo dieter. I spent my whole life up until recently yo-yo dieting, which so many people do, especially women. We have a love affair, an on again, off again relationship with dieting. And I'm sure those of you out there can attest to, I'm sure if you're not on a diet now, you were on a diet recently, and you probably will be on a diet by the time the new year comes around. That is very in itself, as I've learned more about health and how the body operates, it is more detrimental to yo-yo diet, get thin, get fat. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the picture here, but this is me fat, and this is one of my thin days, okay? I could have 17 of those pictures all representing different times when I was fat and thin, and fat and thin. And most times I didn't care how I got there. Healthy ways, unhealthy ways, dangerous ways, as long as I got the fat off. I've learned now that that has probably done more damage to my health in the long run than just staying fat. Let that sink in. Now, you don't want to be overweight. You don't want your body to carry more weight than it needs to, because it is absolutely detrimental to your longevity, your life, and everything that comes with that. But going up and down continuously is also very, very harmful. So today, what Vince brought me on to talk about is now what I've transitioned into as of recently is becoming a 100% vegan. I've often been a raw vegan in my past. I've been vegetarian, I've been pescatarian, I've been Mediterranean. I mean, I've done all these things, and all those with the hope of maintaining my body weight and hopefully improving my health. However, I was able to get weight off, but I never was able to improve my health challenges. And my primary health challenge for me was hypertension. Every single person in my family has hypertension. By the time they hit 30, they are hypertensive, because I focus more on wellness and eating right and eating what I thought was right. My hypertension didn't hit me until I got to my 50s. I'm now 64. So I've been dealing with hypertension about 15 years. And no matter how thin I got, how fit I got, how healthy I thought I was eating, I could not get my blood pressure to regulate, even on medication. Off medication, it would be super high. On medication, it was still not normal. So I came across more information that I realized that I had come across 30 years ago, but wasn't ready to really embrace it. It fell back into my life just recently. And that's called Nutritarian style eating. And it's 100% plant-based, 100% plant-based, but with some additional caveats that just being a vegan or vegetarian do not encompass. It is a very specific way of eating. And there are 5 main ingredients to eating a nutritarian style of life, having a nutritarian life. And we'll talk about that. Now, the reason that I got back into being a nutritarian, and this just happened in April, I don't know if Vince, you even knew that. April 1st, I just had been fighting with my blood pressure, trying to do things to get it to go down. All of the gimmicks, the apple cider vinegar, eating grapefruit, drinking, you name it, whatever they said do, eating garlic, eating clove, sure, it would bring the blood pressure down, but not permanently to the point where I can get off the medication. Because we all know that medication is the second most deadly cause, the most highest cause of death is being on medication, okay? So not only am I'm on this medication, but I'm on this medication with high blood pressure that won't go below 120 or 80. So once I read about the nutritarian style life, and I read about all of the health enhancing, age reversing, chronic disease reversing properties of eating this specific way, I jumped in both feet, didn't even hold my nose when I hit the water. Okay, so I invited, as a coach, this is what I do. I invited 5 of my best friends, all women over the age of 60, all women suffering with high blood pressure, all women suffering with excess weight on their body. And I told them that I'm going to do this 20-day challenge. And why don't you guys do it with me? I'll coach and make sure everybody stays on point, but I can't tell you how to do it. We'll learn how to do it together. And they all agreed. And what I saw in the first week knocked me off my feet. In the first week, we got on Zoom like we're doing today, and we would catch up on how are you feeling? What did you do? How did you fall off? Let me help you get back on. But however, what we talked about was, oh, my blood pressure dropped. Oh my God, I think I lost 5 pounds. I've been trying to lose 5 pounds for 5 years. What's going on? I feel better. I can think clearer. I had so much more energy in the first week. My blood pressure dropped so low that I called my doctor and told her, listen, this is what I'm doing. And that I'm gonna stop here and put that in the clause. Always, always, always speak with your health professional when you're ready to transition into a new eating style. You want to start working on trying to get rid of any kind of chronic disease or get off medication. Always work with your doctor. Please don't use my advice. Let your doctor know what you're doing, okay? So I want that out there. So I called my cardiologist. I told her what I was doing. I told her how fast my blood pressure dropped and do I need to continue taking these meds? Of course, she said yes, but we negotiated and she allowed me to get off one of the 5 medications I was on and monitor my blood pressure. And if it got to 130 over, 80 or something like that, then maybe take a half of one of those blood pressure medications again and try to. Well, I didn't have to do that. My blood pressure dropped, and I'll give you some numbers. Prior to medication, I was usually in the 180s over sometimes 110. Yes, I needed medication. With medication, my regular pressures would be a good day, 130 over 82. That's hypertension. Any way you slice it up and serve it. On a bad day with medication, I would be in the 140s over 90s. That's on medication for 14 years. So something had to go. My blood pressure dropped so fast that I was looking at numbers like 90 over 59. One day I almost fainted, so then we talked again. And so we got off more medication and I gradually started getting off. I started this on April 1st. It is now almost September 1st. And I've been off medication for 2 months. I am prescription medication free. Nothing I've ever done in my life prior to this, no workout plan, no eating plan, no gimmicky plan has ever reversed my chronic disease that fast and permanently. So, and that was the excitement. And not only did it happen for me, it happened for 5 other old women who followed this program. And that is my primary focus in my practice, is working with people 50 and over, okay? If you're younger than that, listen closely to what we're sharing with you today and start making your reversals in your bad lifestyle habits now, and you'll live to be 100, okay? That's not exaggeration. So after the 20 days, everyone, we had some that were better than others because they didn't stick to it, but even those that didn't stick had miraculous results. I had already lost quite a bit of weight, but I was picking it back up. So immediately, boom, I lost 15 pounds. My blood pressure dropped. My energy level went through the roof. I'm no longer walking toward the refrigerator, stopping in mid-step, thinking, where am I going and why am I going there? What am I doing? My cognitive health improved dramatically. It was actually getting to a point where I was becoming frightened that I have a lot of Alzheimer's in my family, and I'm like, oh God, no, it's my turn, right? So that was my test market, and I didn't need any other proof that this was the way to go. If I'm going to be a vegan, this is the vegan I want to be. Now, someone mentioned earlier that, I think it was one of you ladies, that yes, I want to become a vegan, or I want to learn how to change my diet, but I don't know what to do, which is the ultimate problem, because just being vegetarian or vegan does not mean you are healthy. There are many people who are vegan that are in as much detrimental health situations as what we call meatitarians, okay? You have to know what you're doing. Our body, as Vincent said in the opening, our body is a science project. All of our bodies work the same. There are little nuances between you and me, but internally, every organ, every part of the body system works the exact same for everybody. So if you are vegan and you are not knowledgeable enough to know what you should be eating to make sure that you are encompassing and taking in all of the nutrients and vitamins that you need, you can get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. If you're not a vegan and you are not bringing in all those same nutrient vitamins, you can get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. Let that be that is why 90% of Americans are sick, fat, and nearly dead. Mm. So let's talk about what's the difference between a nutritarian type of vegan and a vegan. Vegan just simply means you don't ingest animal products, whether it be cheese or milk or meat or eggs or yogurt. No animal products should enter your body if you're a vegan. However, let's talk about what's the difference between a I'm going to get to that. The difference between the nutritarian style. Nutritarian is the same. You don't ingest any animal products, but there's other specific things that nutritarians don't ingest that other vegans may. So you don't eat any animal products as a vegan, but a lot of vegans are what we call junk food vegans. Instead of eating meat and dairy, they eat processed vegan products because it becomes a lot of work for you to prepare all your meals. So they will get the Beyond Beefs and they get the ready, egg products, and they get all these things that are processed foods, which are not good for your body. Nutritarian style vegans only eat 5 food groups. And those 5 food groups we incorporate into making all the many thousands of dishes that you love, that you feel you may have to give up, you do not. And the 5 food groups that we eat are called G-bombs. G-B-O-M-B-S. That is pretty much all we intake in our body. G being greens, B being beans, M being, the O being onion, G-B-O, let me look at it. Well, G-B-O-M-S. So it's greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Greens, beans, mushrooms, onions, berries, and seeds. That's pretty much all we eat. Now that may scare some of you off, like, well, what? I can just sit here and eat these beans and all I can do is eat some nuts and crunch on some lettuce. No. There are so many recipes that you learn. There are information that you get where you can incorporate. There's nothing that I love to eat in the past that I miss not eating now. And I'm going to show you the pinnacle part of this program. I'm going to do a little cooking demonstration. But that's what G-bombs is. So that's the difference between, also the other part of eating the nutritarian style vegan life is we do not take in to eat any processed oils. That means no coconut oil, no avocado oil, no vegetable oil, no olive oil, no oil at all. And why? Processed oils is processed foods. If you want coconut oil, eat coconut. If you want olive oil, eat olives. If you want vegetable oil, eat some vegetables. So the problem with the oils, because our body, the principle of being a vegan, especially in this way, is that you want your body to have as minimal amount of excess weight as is possible for your body without going too thin, like into anorexia, or putting yourself in a situation where your muscle mass is decreasing. You want to be thin. Being thin, the body, when it's 100% in its optimal health state, is thin. And there is no negotiating that. We can have a preference of wanting a bigger booty or wanting bigger breast or bigger, what he likes it when it jiggles. We're not talking about that. That's cosmetic. That's something else. We're talking about having a healthy body, a body that will live and take you into your functional elderly years, which is typically expected life for us, 90 to the hundreds. We should still be functional, have our clear thoughts, able to move, able to go out and do things, able to enjoy life well into our hundreds. We can't do that. We've bought into the life expectancy of a woman is 81 and a man is 76. That's insane. So if you were a nutritarian and you became one from early on, because damages are already done. I'm trying to reverse some damages. That's why I said if you're under the age of 50 and you haven't jumped into getting your body and health back, now is the time, okay? So by eating this way, we eat no oils, no sugar, no processed foods, no white flours, very minimal grains, and then, of course, all of the G-bombs. That's what a nutritarian lifestyle is all about. Now, you can come into this. There are those that introduce meat products occasionally, and you do it as a seasoning, not as your main course in your meal. So you would never see a nutritarian that also still eats a little bit of meat products with a great big steak and a big potato and a little bowl of iceberg lettuce as their salad with a bunch of oil vinegar dressing slopped on top of it. you see the total opposite. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So this, like I said, I've only been doing since April. I've been on a road to health for, how old am I? For at least 30 years, okay? But I'm no longer looking for the road to health. I'm now on it, and I'm walking. And as I get to each point, I go and I learn more, get back on the road and go on further. That is my life now. And I am so blessed, so excited. I wish I could just lasso every person that I love and every person that I meet and just sit them down and cut off the top of their head and pour in this information, sew their head back up. And as they walk out there, they understand exactly the importance of this and how easy it is to have your health, how much, not only Vincent and I talked about this, not only are you saving on your health, but you are becoming fiscally responsibly and financially responsible in your own life. You don't have to worry about paying for blood pressure medication, diabetes medication, arthritic medication, Alzheimer's medication, all that goes away. You save a ton of money. The only time you really, if you're doing this and you make this your lifestyle, the only time you really see your doctor is once a year for those 1 year yearly checkups. So they can say, oh, you're fine. We'll see you next year, because that is what you're going to be told. I was just told that by my cardiologist. Dr. Copeland, you don't have to come in here anymore. I'll see you next year. I was going every 3 months because on blood pressure medication, it's killing your kidney and your liver, and you're just tearing you up. So every 3 months, you have to do a blood test to make sure your liver is going to still be functioning, that it hasn't decreased on medication. That's no longer a part or fear in my life. So when I talk about things like this, I don't like to get real technical, because everybody that I listen to and everyone I follow and everywhere I've been trying to get this information really talk to their audience as if everybody's in the first year of med school. And so the information can go over your head. You listen to what they say and it sounds interesting, but once the seminar is over, then you don't know what to do, where to go, or how to do it. So I want to talk plain, simple language and just talk about what I've done as not a doctor, not a health coach, but as a person struggling with finding out how to recover my body while I still have it, and how to continue doing that for the remainder of my life. So some of the other things that I want to talk about is what I'm really speaking about is how to incorporate maximal nutrients with a minimal. Let me say that again. You want to do a minimal calorie intake with maximal nutrient uptake, and that is what this is all about. You want to eat as few calories as you possibly can, but have as much nutrient density as you possibly can. And the only way to do that is if you are eating vegetables, fruits, and clean food. Meat is very low in nutrients density, very low. It's high in protein, but very low in nutrient density. So the majority of your food intake, at breakfast, you're eating bacon and sausage and eggs and toast and jelly and orange juice. In that, you have eaten a lot of sugar, a lot of protein, and almost zero nutrients. And that is a typical idea of a breakfast for most Americans. If it's not that, it's what Vincent talked about in the opening, a bowl of cereal, which we all know is highly filled with sugar, absolutely zero nutrients. On the back, it's fortified. When you see the word fortified, that means they have taken artificial vitamins and nutrients and infused them into this concoction that they're selling to you as food, and then try to get you to understand or believe that you're taking in the necessary vitamins for your body. However, fortified vitamins and nutrients are cancer causers. And one of the big ones I want you guys to learn and do some research on is folic acid. Anytime you look on a package and you see fortified folic acid, if it is not from the natural source, it's from the artificial source, it is cancerous. It is a cancer-causing nutrient because it's not real. Okay, so that's the one that's really important that a lot of people don't understand. I eat healthy, but why am I sick? Why do I have cancer? If it didn't grow out of the ground, if it's not in the center of the grocery store when you picked it up, it's probably not that healthy. Okay. So we're doing moderate caloric restriction with high density nutrition. One of the things that, hold on, I don't know if I'm supposed to do something. Right, okay. One of the things that we do as nutritarians is that we get all, if not most, of our nutrients from the foods that we eat. Now, no one can get all your nutrients. No one, not a meat eater, not a Mediterranean eater, not a keto eater. We all have to do some supplementations, and that goes for whether you're vegan or whether you're Mediterranean. So there are some of the supplements that you do need to bring into your body so that you have the right level, the standard American level of those nutrients in your body. So with that, let's see if there's something else I wanted to. Oh, the other part of being a nutritarian that's very important, and Vincent spoke on this as well, is that you also incorporate intermittent fasting. Now, what is intermittent fasting? It only means that you eat a certain period of hours and you don't eat anything but water the other parts of the day. I intermittent fast 14, 12 or whatever, but I do 15 hours of no eating. I start eating at 10 a.m. and I stop at, so from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I eat, and the rest of the day I do not. I drink water. I don't think about food. My body is satiated because I eat high nutrient density, which keeps you full and keeps you satisfied. When you eat low nutrient density, a lot of sugar, a lot of protein, a lot of this, a lot of that, your body's always asking for more because where's my nutrients? You didn't give it to me yet. You didn't give it to me yet. Oh, I'm hooked on sugar. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So that's why we eat like food is a recreation. Food is not a recreation, it's supplementation in stuff. Okay. The other part that is incorporated in living a full nutritarian life is exercise. So you're going to be a thin body person if you are a true nutritarian. However, you want to keep your muscular structure sound. And that is not, you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be, Ernestine Shepherd, but walking every day and doing some type of weight-bearing exercise, strength training every day to keep your muscular tone solid. Okay, so you are monitoring, bringing in high nutrient foods, you are exercising, and you are intermittent fasting. That is, in a nutshell, what it means to be a nutritarian. Okay.
Great.
I think that, Vince, is there anything else that you would like for me to speak on?
No, I think you covered quite a bit so far. I'm glad you mentioned intermittent fasting because people don't realize that's how we were basically created. Back in the days, I'm talking about way before, prehistoric man, whatever it is, they did not eat throughout the day. They had no refrigerators, no microwave. I mean, they just, if they caught something, they killed it, they ate it, okay. But they may not get any food for the next 2 or 3 days. But your body has so much stored fat. Your body is so smart, it knows that there may be some lean years or lean days. So it's gonna use your fat for energy. That's
Absolutely.
the key. The energy is from the fat that we have on our bodies. We don't have to continuously eat to get energy. The energy is all around you. If you have a big stomach, to be put it nicely, a big protruding stomach, all you have to do, for the most part, is start intermittent fasting. Because if your body gets hungry, it knows where to get the fat.
It knows where to go.
There you go. All right, very intelligent. So I think you covered quite a bit and talked about the importance of eating healthy, eating food that has life. We're living beings. So why would I want to eat steak or hamburgers and French fries when it's devoid of any nutritional benefits? So we need to eat better. And I tell people we need to eat God's food, or eat what God made and less of what man made. If you remember that, you'll think about what you're eating. Okay, eat more of what God made and less of what man made.
And Vince, you said something in the opening that really resonated with me it's pretty much close to what you're saying now. You said that, food comes from the ground.
Yes.
We, in a sense, came from the ground. And then the last part, when you were saying that, I thought you didn't finish the analogy. And when we pass on, we go back into the ground.
To the dust. Right.
That's where all life begins and ends, in a cycle, begins and ends. That's whether you're a plant or an animal or everything. So yes, that is, and I'm just finished with saying this, my focus and my primary goal in life right now, since I did okay, just be honest, I did better than most of my peers with maintaining some resemblance of a healthier lifestyle. But now that I am in my 60s and beyond,
yes,
my focus now is not just getting older and looking good and feeling good, but being a functional elderly. And that's what elderlies are called when they still maintain their regular life duties. They can walk, they can talk, they can drive, they can think, they can move, they can exercise. Functional elderlies is what we are all put here to be. Non-functional elderlies is, you may know someone that lived to be 90 or 100. Well, they were alive, but were they living? Non-functional elderlies are those that are stuck in the homes, can't move, or stuck in elderly care facilities, can't do anything for themselves. I have no desire for that. So the Nutritarian diet can very possibly create a planet of functional elderly people that are just going about their life. And then they peacefully go when they make the choice. I think I'm done. I'm going to go, and it's a peaceful exit.
yes.
That's my goal now, is to be a functional elderly. Because, talking about finances, I didn't invest in elderly care, long-term care, just the whole idea of what? It's too expensive. And I told myself, I'm going to try it another way. And I may, get to a point where I regret this, but so far I haven't. But instead of planning for my non-functional elderly years, I'm going to invest in creating my functional elderly years and keep that $1,000 a month in my pocket and use it then if I need it, but not just let you have it and hold on to it if I don't. Because if I don't need it, I don't get it back, right?
That's right.
That's the end for me. My goal is to remain a functional elderly well into my 100s.
Yes. Well, there's a place in the world called the blue zones, where they've done studies in different parts like Japan and other countries where people ordinarily lived into their hundreds. And they're doing that because why? Most of them are on a plant-based diet. They walk every day, and they're very involved with community. So what you're saying is not far-fetched. It's real. But in the Western culture here, we're so used to, being fat, sick, and nearly dead because of how we're eating. But if you think about it, we're not meant to expire that young.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right.
So I think, are we ready to see a little cooking?
I think they don't want to hear from me. Sure, Karen. I think they're ready for that.
I think there's going to be questions at the end, right? I saw things popping up, but like I said, I'm 65 and I can't see as well. So to me, if I didn't respond, it's because I couldn't read the print of the message. Okay. So I'm going to make this simple. I'm going to just show you guys what is the most important element of not just nutritarian eating, okay? And that is eating your greens. Now, one of the caveats of a nutritarian style lifestyle is to eat a huge green salad, incorporating as many different types of vegetables as you possibly can every day, okay? Every day. So I'm going to just show you guys how I get around doing this. When you first transition into anything, it becomes a little overwhelming. So going from eating meats or going from being a specific type of vegetarian or other type of eater to this, it can really become a little bit overwhelming because you realize you cannot eat outside of your house very often. So everything is going to be cooked by you, done by you, shopped by you. Everything is by you. Eating a big vegetable salad every day, as you already know, making a salad takes a lot of time. So I've learned how to make my day work better by, on the weekends, I food prep. And food prepping is a very important part of not just this light way of eating, but if you're a busy person or a busy mother or a busy worker, food prepping is a lifesaver. So I food prep my salads now. So I do what's called salads in a jar, and I'm just going to show you guys that. And then once that's done over the weekend, I have enough salads for the entire week to just dump it on the plate and eat. So I'm not making a salad and cutting up and dicing every day, every time I want a salad. Okay, so let's get started with that.
Yeah, that's great. I eat salad every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. And a lot of people eat salads every day, but there's nothing in the salad.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to find out what you put in there.
Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, so we talked about the G-bomb. So your salad is where you're going to make sure that you at least get the majority of your G-bombs, your greens, your beans, your onions, your mushrooms, your berries, your seeds, in your body every day. That's why the salad is so important. So what I have here is I have chickpeas that I slow cooked, and those will go in each of the salads. Your greens. Now, one of the greens that is one of the most important greens that you put in your salads are the cruciferous vegetables. Why? Cruciferous vegetables have been proven to be anti-cancer, highly effective in reversing cancers and preventing cancers of any food on the planet. Our cruciferous vegetables include cauliflower, cabbage, any type of cabbage, broccoli, bok choy, kale. Eat as much of those as you possibly can, preferably raw, but even cooked. Cruciferous vegetables is a cancer cure and cancer preventer. Okay? So the first thing I do, and I'm a gadget girl. You don't have to do this. If you have a knife, you're good. But I like to make my day fun. So I like gadgets. And this is a zoodler. This is usually what you see people doing when they're turning their zucchini into spaghetti.
Oh, okay.
And where's my knife? Okay. So I do all my vegetables this way when I'm doing my food prep. And this little gadget is easy, it's fun, it's cute. I don't know if you can see that. So you just have to have a flat end to stick on and another flat end to push. And then I would just turn and it will start making little patterns with my carrots. Okay, see that?
Wow. Wow.
I won't do it all. I'll just do enough to make a salad.
And what's that called again, Karen?
They call it a zoodler or a spiral. It's spiraling.
Spiraling.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just put the different vegetables here. So that would be my carrots.
Nice.
That's going to go in my jar.
Vitamin A, vitamin C.
Vitamin A, C, carotene, beta carotene, you name it.
Right.
Okay. The next would be my cucumber.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a lot of times you will find that your vegetables will not live as long as you want them to. So I'm quick to take something and make something out of it or throw it in the freezer to prevent it from being completely useless. Okay, And so I just will make my cucumbers. Should be enough of that for my salad. Onion, another very important part of your daily intake of vegetables. I love red onion. It's my favorite onion, but any type of onion does not matter. And I just kind of do the same thing with the onion. And I do this because it's much faster than, of course, chopping. And I can make enough to make all 5 of mine. I usually make 5 of these in a jar. I already chopped up my tomatoes. Here's my cruciferous vegetable that will go in the salad this week. This is bok choy. Okay, and like I said, my beans would be chickpea or garbanzo beans, some people call them. I am a Nutritarian diet is also sodium free, so no added sodium goes in my body, especially for me because I'm trying to make sure my blood pressure stays low. So I love the Mrs. Dash products. They come in all types of flavors. I even found one that's a Mrs. Dash taco seasoning, and I make tofu tacos or mushroom tacos, and it was delicious. I did not miss not having meat in my taco at all. Okay, so I like to kind of season my beans before I put them in my jar. And we'll start with this. So I'll put about 1/4 of a cup. You want to eat at least a 1/2 cup or a full cup of beans a day. And they don't all have to come from the salad. You know, you can have another meal that incorporates beans. There's even desserts that incorporate beans. I mean, there's so many things that we can do. So in my jar, I would put beans. Then I would put maybe my carrots. And believe it or not, this all stays crisp and fresh for at least 5 days. Okay. Then I'll throw my cucumbers on top. I like things as I'm driven by, I'm also a wannabe designer, so I like pretty things. And then after that, I would put on my tomatoes. Okay. I'll put on my bok choy, chop that up.
Choy.
I think I have some that's already chopped up. I'll put my chopped bok choy on there. And believe it or not, I have a 6-year-old. He's my nephew. He was with me for the summer. And he literally, when he saw me spiraling, I want to do that. I want to do that. So I let him do it. And guess what? He made all my salads in a jar for me last week.
Wow, nice.
He thought it was fun. Okay, so that would be that. Now I would put the onions. And this is how much I will eat. And then the last thing that I will add, you want to have some other dark green on there. And sometimes you may get into situations where you don't like things. Like I've always told myself, I hate arugula. I don't like arugula. I don't like arugula. Said that up until I became a Nutritarian. And since you want to do a variety of different vegetables, you don't want to just always eat the same vegetables, like, you know, we all are a creature of habit. So I started forcing myself to eat arugula, and guess what? I like arugula.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I will add on top is the arugula. Now that's just the salad in a jar. What I would do after this is I would get my lettuce and I would clean it and chop that up. And then I would just take my salad in a jar. Isn't that pretty? And then I just dump it on top and get my salad dressing on there. So let's real quick go into the salad dressings, because you can take a beautiful health enhancing, disease reversing, cancer, curing salad like that and destroy it in an instant with your salad dressing. So let me show you real quickly how not to do that. Of course, I'm going to put some peppers. I'll put that in the other ones. So I will do this again 4 more times off camera, of course, and put those in my refrigerator. And when I'm ready to eat my salads every day, I don't have to worry about it. I just get up, open the jar, cut up my lettuce, dump it. There's my salad. Okay, so salad dressings. No store-bought salad dressings ever, ever, ever. Please don't. Even the ones that say they're healthy or they're low in sugar or whatever gimmick they have on the label, try not to do that. I'm going to show you guys a quick way. One of my favorite salad dressings, and you literally can just make salad dressings up in a pinch. Mainly, what we like to do as nutritarians is we eat a lot of nuts, but you don't want to eat nuts for recreation. You don't want to sit and just munch on a bunch of peanuts or almonds. Nuts is where we get our omega fatty acids. And it's also where we get our oils. As I explained earlier, we eat no oils from a bottle. So you save your nuts. We save our nuts to eat when we eat vegetables and fruit or something sweet, vegetables and fruit, because nuts will help the nutrients drive into the cells and make them, do more work. So that's why you want to save your nuts for your salad dressings or when you're eating a fruit salad or something like that. Real quickly, let's make salad dressing.
Okay.
Okay. So this salad dressing is going to be made with walnuts. That's the nut that I will use. And vinegars, balsamic vinegar. If you like sweet dressing, this one will be sweet. It's made with raisins. So I will put about a half a cup of walnuts in there. Balsamic vinegar, you guys, when you buy balsamic vinegar, go ahead and splurge. Please don't buy the cheap vinegars that's on the shelf. That's nothing more than food coloring. A good balsamic vinegar will cost you an essence of $8 and up. I bought a $35 bottle of balsamic vinegar. It was delicious, but I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to keep buying that particular brand because I use a lot of balsamic vinegar. And this is calling for 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. I like to add 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And balsamic vinegar has a sweetness to it. Apple cider vinegar will cut the sweetness a bit. And remember, we're also going to put raisins. That's going to add more sweetness. And you can play with this. You can follow this recipe, or you can just start here and veer off into your own direction. Okay, we're going to put maybe a 1/4 cup of raisins. All righty. Now we're going to do our seasonings. I use a lot of garlic powder, onion, no salt, of course, in anything. My no salt seasoning. I love garlic. You eat a lot of garlic. So what I like is roasted garlic. So what I have here is I take big cloves of garlic, throw them in my air fryer, turn it on roast, and I keep a lot of roasted garlic in my refrigerator. So I put, I don't know, I'm a garlic fiend. I put 5 cloves of garlic. You can put 1, you can put 2. Okay. And then we will add our seasoning. So I'll put Mrs. Dash, no salt seasoning for flavor. Let's throw a little garlic powder in there for flavoring. You know, you can measure everything. I started out living that way. I ain't got time for that now. And then I like onion, so I'll put some dried onion in there. And the last thing I will add is half a cup of water. This is a delicious salad dressing, I promise you. If anything I've done here and you guys want recipes for it, you know, let Vince know or let me know. I think Vince provided you with my email address. I'll be happy to send you.
Yes, it's in the chat box.
Okay, and then we're just going to blend it up. Excuse the noise. Okay. Now, because there's no, always delicious, so delicious.
Mhm.
And then I just kind of put it in a jar, a little bottle, so I can remind myself this is salad dressing.
Nice.
And I can't find a stopper, but there's your salad dressing. If you want to put a label, as you can see, I'm a labeler. Put a label on there and let yourself know what type, because sometimes I'll have 2 or 3 different salad dressings in the refrigerator at the same time.
Nice.
So that would be the salad dressing that I use on each salad that I eat for that week. Salad dressing made at home does not have any preservatives, so this will last and stay fresh a good 4 to 5 days. After that, toss it. Okay, if you haven't gotten to it, toss it. All right. And you would think there's not much in there to go bad, but it could be the nuts and just the, you know, we have vinegars, but they advise you not to go past 5 days with your homemade salad dressing. So that's my main meal. Let me put a few things away. And eating a salad every day is the main, most important thing about being a nutritarian. And any vegetarian or vegan, you should make salads. And Vincent talked about, you know, why do you need to eat breakfast every morning? Eat salad. Let that be your first meal of the day.
Yeah, true.
Okay?
Yes.
I'll show you the size bowl. I don't know if you can see on video, but this is the size bowl of salad that I eat every day. So what I would do is I would take lettuce and chop that up and then put that on the bottom and then take my salad in a jar, dump it on top, take my salad dressing, dump it on top, toss it up. Main important thing about doing that, eating this, is going to create a lot of fiber. So most of us, one of the reasons we're all fat, sick, and nearly dead is, one thing, we eat too much. 2, we eat the wrong things. And 3, we don't eat enough fiber. Eating this salad every day, not to mention the other G-bombs, will create all the fiber you need in a day. If you're not used to that, I will let you know you will be getting very gassy until your body regulates with the level of fiber that you're now intaking. The other important thing is when you eat a salad like this, you want to eat it very slowly and you want to chew it almost until it liquefies into your body. That's how the nutrients get into our bloodstream faster and do their work the way that it should be done. Okay.
Yes.
So that's my day meal. If I don't do anything else, I make sure I get my salad. But free of being a sugar addict. Now, something I left out of my bio, I'm a sugar addict. I can't say that I was, because anytime I reintroduce an inkling of sugar in my body, I'm all in. I'm hooked. I'm back. And then I have to go. And I've reversed being a sugar addict as many times as I've reversed being overweight. Okay, so I love sweets. So today I'm going to show you one of the sweets I keep in my refrigerator, how easy it is to make. It is so delicious. And after dinner, every night, I have something sweet. And I don't worry about it because it's made my way. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is ice cream. And what we call it, nice cream. Okay. Okay, so as I said earlier, that as you become a nutritarian or any kind of vegan, your produce is going to grow old faster than you want it to. So what I typically do is I keep a close watch on my produce, and anything that I can freeze before it goes bad so that I can have it longer, I freeze. So what I'm making today is going to be a mint chocolate chip ice cream. All righty, so we're going to start also blending. And this mint chocolate chip ice cream, you can eat it for lunch, you can eat it for dinner, you can eat it in place of eating because it's nothing more than spinach. You weren't ready for that, were you? So, as much as you can, you do want to buy organic. And the ingredients in this particular, I have to freeze the spinach because it's getting too wilty. So I'm going to put about 2 cups of spinach. And I'm using frozen. It's going to be all chopped up anyway. 2 cups of spinach. Well, I call it 2 handfuls. Okay. Then, of course, we're making mint ice cream, so we want to put mint. Mint is another herb that I cannot keep up with because it goes bad so fast and it costs so much. So I've learned to freeze my mint, and I will put about a tablespoon of that. If you have fresh mint, you want to use about 6 leaves, but I've kind of calculated out 6 leaves for me is about a tablespoon of crushed mint. Okay. Sometimes I overdo it and it's a little more minty, but it's still delicious. Next thing I want to put in are bananas. That's where our sweetness comes from. And you want to use frozen bananas. So I will put 4 frozen bananas. And I keep tons of frozen bananas in my refrigerator. I use them for almost so many different things in my smoothies, in my ice cream, and some of my baking. Okay, so 4 bananas. I'm going to use a tablespoon of almond butter. And I've done this so many times that I kind of just do it by sight now. And like I said, you can't mess it up. One time I did put in too much almond butter and everyone was like, I taste almonds. I go, oh, okay, then it's almond mint ice cream. How about that? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, our sweetener of choice. We do not use sugars. All sweeteners, I mean, if you go and you Google, you're going to hear agave sweetener is better. It's better than sugar. Maple syrup is okay. Honey is okay. As a nutritarian, those are not okay. Okay. We want to keep our glycemic indexes as low as we possibly can. We want to take in the sweetener that will give us the highest nutrient value as we possibly can. And the only sweetener that trumps them all is date sweeteners. You can do date sugar. That's going to give you a little bit higher quantity of sugar than if you were using regular dates. There's date syrup. I primarily just use a lot of dates, and then I make my own date syrup and I make my own date paste. So I'm going to put in 8 Deglet dates, those are the smaller dates. If you get the mature dates, which are the bigger ones, you use 4. Okay. And of course, we do not use dairy. So all my milks are made here at home by me in my almond cow. There's a lot of different dairy making machines out there. I love almond cow. So this milk was made, again, if you make homemade milk, dairy milk, you have to watch how long you keep it because it doesn't have preservatives. So I want to put 4 tablespoons of dairy. This is, I think, either almond or cashew milk. I forget which one. I kind of just reach up here and grab nuts and make my own milk, and I make any nut can make a great milk. Okay. I'll keep this here because it may need a little bit more. And that's pretty much all she wrote. And then we're going to just blend that up.
How long are you blending it for? How long is the blending process? Oh, probably can't hear me because of the noise. Cashew and other nut milk as well as whole milk. Yes.
And so I would do that a few more times. I'm not going to do that, but it will turn into a creamy, liquidy ice cream. And so in the preservation of time, I'll do that later. So what I'll do is I'll show you the ice cream that I've already made. And show you what happens next. Now, this is the ice cream. It's frozen solid. You can either take that out if you're going to eat it that night, take it out, a few hours, let it thaw a bit in the refrigerator, and then kind of stir it up. However, because if you're a gadget queen like me, I have a machine here. Can you guys see this machine here?
Yes.
Okay, this is called the Ninja Cream. Now, there's a lot of products out there that you're going to have to eventually bring into your home if you want to start living this way. Ninja is this is a Ninja blender, and it works for everything I need. This Ninja Creamy is another thing that I love. So once I take my ice cream out, I want to eat it right away. So it's a solid block of ice. This machine will turn it into a whipped creamy ice cream. So I have that. And you may want to mute also. So again, this is a loud machine, but it is so much fun, and I'll show you what it does.
I think Dr. Copeland thinks that we are hearing the sound of the machine, but we're not. So we're okay. I want to thank you for hanging in here. I know it's after 1, but we will not be holding you much longer. We'll do a quick Q&A after this, but I definitely appreciate you guys hanging in there. As we wait patiently for the final results, again, I appreciate you guys for hanging in here. I think it's important to find different ways to eat healthy, even if it's something that, if you have a sweet tooth, something that's devoid of sugar, except for the natural sugar, which is so important.
Okay, I probably should have whipped that up before. Sorry, it took that long. But here's the ice cream. It's all soft now. Yeah. The hole in the middle is if you want to add any add-ins. So if you're making this for your kids, you can add in fruit, you can add in vegetables. You shouldn't, but you can add in candies, chocolate chips if you're making chocolate chip ice cream. And all those things you can do and stay within the confines of this way of eating. So now my ice cream is just ready to be scooped out.
Wow.
And I haven't eaten breakfast, so guess what? This is going to be my breakfast. It's past 10 o'clock. I can eat now. And I literally can eat this for breakfast, no guilt.
Yes, Coach QueenKC, you're in Long Beach, California.
I am in Long Beach. So far, still sunny Long Beach, California.
I know you guys are expecting a hurricane.
There is my mint. And if I wanted to, I have baking chip cacao chips. I could throw that in there and make, have chocolate mint ice cream.
Nice.
It's delicious. So what I wanted to get across today, and hopefully I have, 1 second.
Good.
I've made every kind of ice cream you could think of. That is always my favorite.
Nice.
One thing I wanted to get across is that this is very doable. There is nothing that you should miss. Initially, you'll tell yourself, well, I miss fried chicken, or I miss seafood, because before this, I ate as a pescatarian for years. Now that I'm advanced in my studies, I realize how dangerous that was, but live and learn. So you're going to tell yourself at the beginning, you're going to miss this, you're going to miss that. What you will learn how to do as you do more research and study is that you'll learn how to make things that resemble those things that you think you can't live without eating. Of course, it will taste different, but you acquire a taste for those things. So I love sweets. I make brownies, I make cookies, I make cakes, I make ice cream, you name it, I make it, and I love it. So the other good thing about eating this way with your sweets is it doesn't have those triggering high glycemic sugars in it. Typically, if you're eating ice cream, you eat it, get a bowl of ice cream, you go watch TV and eat ice cream. By the time the commercial comes on, you want some more ice cream. Because the sugar is telling you more.
Yes.
This satisfies that sweet craving, and you literally do not want any more. You can eat more, and you're not doing any harm, but you don't want it. Okay? So you can have your desserts, you can have your fried foods, as long as you fry them in the oven or, without oil. You can have your, whatever it is you think you can't live without. It's possible to do it as a vegan.
Nice.
That's what I hope you got from me today.
Wow, excellent. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. But let's take I know we went over one,
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So maybe if you can just check a couple of the questions that's in the chat, in the box, and answer some questions for those who hung around, and let's go from there. Because there are a few questions in there that I see that.
Okay, you guys, excuse me getting close. I have to get close to see. Okay, so let's see. Yes, someone indicated that the riper the banana is, you want your bananas, I don't have any ripe ones here because I usually have them over there. You want them to almost turn black before you peel them and put them in the refrigerator, or if you're using ripened bananas unfrozen, then you want them to have at least black spots on them. The more ripe they are, the sweeter they will be. That is true. One did indicate that. Yeah, cashews and other nuts as well as oats yield a very, very creamy, nice cream. Who said that? That was Karen, another Karen. Karen, do you make nice creams already? You may want, maybe you could share some of your recipes with me. Let's see. Who else here?
There was a question. There's a question from Elizabeth. What do you think about pre-cut vegetables and salads?
Yeah, Vince, it might be easier if you just read the questions to me. Yeah. What do I think about pre-cut vegetables
and salads? Yes.
You mean vegetables in a bag? I'm assuming you mean vegetables in a bag, or salads in a bag.
Let's just say yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if push comes to shove and you're running late on time, or your life is very busy and that makes your life easier, go for it. Get the ones that are organic. Just understand anything that they put in a bag and prepare for you will have some sort of preservative on it. There's no way they can keep it on the shelf in the store that long without it, okay? But I do buy pre-bagged things. You saw me open the bag of arugula. Occasionally I do. Most often I go to the farmer's market every Sunday. Guess I won't be going this Sunday since we have a hurricane coming.
Right.
But so I don't get a lot of my vegetables in a bag, okay? But it's okay. Just know that it will have some sort of preservative on it. It could even have sugar to make it last. It could have salt. And they don't, by law, have to put everything on the label.
You mentioned berries. What about other fruits? It's also from Liz.
All the fruits that God has provided us are fair game. And a big variety. We can all get in a rut. I'm in a rut. I eat mainly the same fruits every week or every month. I go grocery shopping and I realize I buy the same fruits. I'm forcing myself to go to Asian supermarkets and other supermarkets of different cultures and getting that funny looking stuff they call fruit and giving it a try. Because there are some nutrients in those type of fruits that we don't eat on a regular basis that we're missing out on. So any fruit is fair game.
Nice. Also, I think you said that grains are not part of the food groups. Is this?
No, grains are. Grains, you can do grains, but you do them very moderately. I do quinoa. Think about it, quinoa. I do quinoa. I do not do white rice. I do not do brown rice. Brown rice, rarely I might do brown rice, but brown rice is grown and it creates arsenic. A lot of people don't know. If you eat a lot of brown rice, you're taking in a lot of arsenic from brown rice. White rice, we all know why that's just nothing but sugar once it hits the body. White potatoes, occasionally, rarely, I will use white potatoes. Sweet potatoes, sure, it's not a main staple. I don't do it every day or every week, but I do take in sweet potatoes. So that's how you treat grains. Grains are a part of this, but they are rarely used. They're not every day with every meal.
And then Marilyn said, very helpful. Let's see. Yeah, Karen said, yes, I make nice cream. I'm 100% whole food, plant-based vegan.
Karen, if you don't mind, text me. I'd like to get to know you, and maybe we can bounce off of each other some ideas or some information.
Right. I have your contact information and mine both in the chat room. And also, Liz said you also mentioned supplements, but didn't give details.
No, I didn't give details. The two supplements that I'll just talk about the ones that are most deficient, not just with vegans, but with everybody. But especially with vegans, you want to make sure you're supplementing vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and folate, not folic acid, folate. Those are typically the vitamins that we find ourselves deficient in, that we just can't get enough of them in our body eating a plant-based diet. So have a blood panel run, see which nutrients your body is deficient in, and always go and get reputable vitamins, that are made properly, and substitute your diet, supplement your diet with those few different vitamins that we can't get in our body just through eating. Great.
Any other questions? As I said earlier, I appreciate you guys hanging around here. I think it's so important, though, that we share health information for our communities, because health is wealth, And if we don't take care of our health, I don't care what you're trying to accomplish, your body has to take you everywhere you go. Your health matters, and we have got to take responsibility for our own health. All right, so let me see. Any other questions before we go? Elizabeth said, let's see, great conversation and truly engaging. I'll pray for you that you get through the hurricane in the best shape, Karen. Yes, our prayers are with you. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time here. This has been so important, so engaging and fun, and that's so important to me and to everyone here. I'm sure we all appreciate it. And so I just want to thank you guys for coming out and being a part of the program. To find out more about Coach QueenKC, Dr. Copeland, you will find her contact information again in the chat room. And to find out more about my organization, program, and podcast, you will find it in the chat room as well. And if you want to know more about what we're doing, or if you're not part of my email list, of my newsletter, please leave your email address in the chat box, and I will definitely include you. Now, this was streamed on YouTube, and I'm going to it was recorded on Zoom. I'm going to send it out as an e-blast to a lot of the people who wanted to be here that couldn't make it, because I just want to share this information. And I want to thank Dr. Karen Copeland again for sharing her health journey and cooking demonstration. It was so helpful. And I want to thank Jaden Andrews for helping out with the technical end of the Zoom, because I couldn't do it without you guys. It's very important. All right. And I hope this program was inspiring, informative, and encouraging, and that you will continue to join us for future presentations. And because we want to continue to educate our people on the importance of our health. And before I go, Karen said the mindset piece is most important. You have to realize that healing is available to you. Yes, your body was meant to heal itself, but you have to give the body what it needs. Okay. And once you do that, the body will take care of its business. All right. So with that being said, remember, we don't stop exercising because we grow old. We grow old because we stop exercising, right? So we're going to continue exercising. We're going to continue eating healthy, and we're going to be the best versions of ourselves. And with that being said, God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'll be in touch. God bless, and enjoy this day. And Dr. Copeland, again, thank you very much. You were wonderful. Fantastic.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you.
All right, Jaden, we're going to end the program right there. Thank you.
Wow, that was fun. I hope you didn't mind me. Mom, were you on the video? Unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself?